Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I am here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back to me like Harold did. Thank you very much for that, Harold. Thank you for the host, as always, and ANG. Adjective Noun Gaming is also here. Dude wants his ruckus here. Adjective Noun Gaming says, can't hang out for long tonight, but wanted to let you know I'm almost finished with Demon Slayer and plan on watching that another show you recommend to me on Crunchyroll after that. Hell yeah, Demon Slayer rules. It is part of the actual good boy generation of shonen that I'm real into. Mr. Bob is here. Lastbrick is here. What's up, friends? Welcome, welcome. Um, Lord Crashington is here. We got a stellar crew. Fantastic folks here watching the stream. Always great. Happy to see you. Demon Slayer, Tanjiro, part of that good boy shonen, the shonen good boys. Not always the case. You know, you got your like diamond, like heart underneath a tough exterior. Yosuke is not the nicest guy in the world, but he cares about the people he cares about. You got Goku. Goku really only cares about, he's got friends, but he really cares about fighting more than anything else. And Gon, who's supposed to be part of that generation of, young boy protagonists from Hunter x Hunter, but Gon is selfish and a jerk. We like him, but he's a jerk. So it's nice. We're now Deku, Mob, Tanjiro, Shinra from Fire Force. Good boys. We got some real good boys right now, which is nice. Happy to have you all here tonight. We are going to get building in just a moment or two. We are working on the NT-1 right here, aka Alex. It's called Alex. We've gotten the chest pretty much built. We got the head done. There'll be a backpack later. We're working on the arms right now. I've got some parts of the arms done. We'll be working on more of that as we go. We're in that period. We do have these weird little things that we get to put on. And I'll show you the trick they came up with for this, which I like. Also, it is warm. We got the central air going, but it's warm. So I went without the bandana, and I don't know if that's like, I might end up taking a short break and grabbing the bandana. But right now I'm going without it, and I don't know. That's just what happened. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. I'm going to retweet my tweet, and then we're going to go and get into it. Because I like, reminding folks that, hey, I'm doing this whole thing with model kits, and they can come hang out. Because it's Monday. And let's build some model kits on a Monday. Especially because in the second hour, let's go to the alt overhead here for the NT-1. In the second hour, I don't have as much anime to talk about because Monday is the lightest of the 3 days I model kit build to talk about anime. As you can see, we got the body here. We'll put that off. Put that over here. I don't know, over here. Put it over there. But we got some arm pieces here, and we're gonna keep working on the arm. But this is the light time to talk about anime stuff because there's just like a lot on Sunday or Monday that I watch. I'm sure I could find a couple other things that are out there, but that's just where I'm at right now of like what I'm looking to watch. There's not much. Again, I went and tried to find some. I'm on the hunt for Chinese animation with good subtitles. That's very difficult. Only one show has official subtitles, and that show I've already watched, The King's Avatar, and it was good. I liked it, but I've already watched it. So I've been trying to hunt down some stuff, and you can't. So then it's like, okay, well, what can I find that's not cool necessarily to do? And that is poorly translated. It feels a lot like the mid to late 90s, like Google, like Babelfish level of translation, where you're like, this is This isn't right. Jam just subscribed with just Prime for 32 months. Thank you so much, Jam. Let's throw the emotes in the chat. Thank you so much, Jam, for subscribing for 32 months. That's incredible. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. I very much appreciate it. And Epic Open World is here. Hello, Epic Open World. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so, like, I don't know. I mean, this particular season of anime is just, like, good, but it's not overflowing with stuff that I'm into. You know, there are big shows this season for people that want to watch those big shows. You know, like, I don't really like ReZero, but a lot of people do. I don't really like Sword Art Online. A lot of people do. They're getting both of those things. Hey, Lord Crashington, throwing in those emotes. I appreciate that. Along with Lashbrook, thank you for that. Yeah, so it's like, if I don't really like those shows, and then somebody reached out about this and said, hey, you've been really negative about a couple shows that you're watching. Why are you still watching them? And that's a fair question. And generally, it's because I talk about anime on this stream. So I like to be informed. And also, like, I'd be happy to be proven wrong. If this season of the last season of Food Wars turns out to be great, I'd like to be watching it as it's happening. If the second half of this season of Fire Force, or the second like the second quarter, because I don't know if it's double this season or not. It might be double length. I actually don't know. If it's just 12 episodes, then, like, the second half could be stellar. It could be a standout part of the season, and I'd be interested. Also, this is a thing that, to me, this is not just about anime. This is about anything out there, folks. If I can get on my soapbox for a moment, just briefly. Being critical of things is not the same thing as hating things. Now, there are shows that I am definitely disappointed in this season, and I'm honest about me being disappointed in them. But that does not mean that I hate them. I don't watch things that I don't enjoy fully, or I never enjoyed. Sure, I do watch a few things that I don't enjoy as much as I did previously. I think the second half of the last season of Food Wars was way better than the first half. I'm glad I continued watching it, and I think it got better. And I also think it's better than what's going on now. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the show or want to see what's going on with it. I'm not watching the Monster Doctor anime. Like the Doctor for Monster Girls. I know that I won't like that, so I'm not going to watch it. And I think that's, like, there's a difference between that and being critical of it. This new chapter of Fire Force might end up being interesting, because it is they're going into they're doing the explorer thing. They're on a fact-finding mission. We're gonna see some stuff, and they're also interacting with characters we haven't seen a lot of. So that's going to be interesting to observe them do their thing, and, like, we might learn some new stuff about our characters that we like. So it's like, oh, I'm kind of hopeful about that. What are you talking about, Pat? If you have one negative thing to say about a movie, anime, or video game, you hate it with a passion. That is what the internet has taught me. Yes, in the same way that if you are critical about something, you want the people that made it to suffer for some reason, like, apparently, and you really want bad, it's like, oh, well, I guess you just don't want this game to exist, or what property, or whatever it is. And it's like, no, that's not what we're saying. It's definitely not what we're saying. Like, yeah, you can be critical of things. You could have opinions, and hey, also, like I said, I've said this before, there are plenty of things out there that I like, that I get you wouldn't like. I understand that. Be it video games, anime, TV shows, movies, books. Like, there's a bunch of stuff out there that I could definitely see you not being into, because you're different people. It's like, so yeah, they're, and the same way that, yeah, there are shows that people watch. They're like, oh, are you watching this? And I'm like, no. All right, dropped a piece. I can find it though. Thank you, carpet, for being easy to find pieces that fall, because things don't bounce when they fall in carpet. It's very nice. Anytime Polygon or Waypoint say anything negative about a media, it's like they want us all to, means they want us to boycott it and the creators again. Yes, that is, the internet has taught you that. Yes. Um, yes, I think somebody was just like, I forget what it was, but they had to follow up with their, oh, it was about the Smash Mouth man. A friend of mine tweeted today about the lead singer of Smash Mouth, and basically just being like, unbelievable that all the goodwill they've been up for the last 10 years is gone. And he's like, I'm not trying to cancel. It's just that it's just wild to see. And it's like, yeah, to me, part of the thing that is wild is that my friend felt the need to, and it probably rightfully say, hey, I'm not saying if you stop listening to Smash Mouth, or we should, make sure he can't earn a living anymore. But he is just like, oh man, one choice and you are no longer the darling of the internet, is a real thing. And also, obviously, not true for everyone, right? Like, there are people who are just like, well, I wouldn't make that choice, but whatever. If they want to go do a concert, you're ignoring the bigger question, Pat. Who listens to Smash Mouth? Well, Epic Open World, some people, there are people at the time that Smash Mouth had their biggest hits who genuinely liked that band. And there are people who ironically like that band, but the thing about irony is, sometimes it stops and you just like the thing. You go from ironic detachment, enjoyment, can sometimes just become enjoyment. And suddenly you're like, oh, I just like this. But also, they became a band that had like a, rejuvenance, and like, it was that thing where it was like, people were like, well, they're all right. They're doing their thing, but like, okay, sure, I don't know. Let them do their thing. It's just like, they got somewhat of a like, yeah, whatever. It's just Smash Mouth. Fine, who cares? Just whatever you do, don't say All Star was only a hit because of Shrek on Twitter. Yes, because it was definitely a hit before Shrek, which is why it's in Shrek. Lord Crashing did subscribe for 13 months. Keep up with the great work and stay safe. I heard from somebody on the internet that you think some piece of media is less than a 3 out of 5. You must contact directly because they're obviously interested in why you don't like it. Thank you, Lord Crashington. I'm going to hit the old applause there. Let's throw the emotes in. I want to smash a cover that's all-star covers, or a concert that's all-star covers. I like that, Mr. Bob. That's fun. But yeah, let's throw the emotes in there. Lord Crashington, thank you for renewing your sub. Over a year. That's so nice, and I always appreciate it, folks. When that notification comes up, always make sure, if you want to anyway, that you hit that thing so we know that you've renewed, because it means a lot to me that people continue to support what the silliness that's happening here. That always means a lot. Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's see. So, what do I want to say? Yesterday, my dad's lawnmower died. Now it is electric. It was an electric mower, and we talked about that. It had an electric, extension cord, and that was weird to me because I had never had that situation before. I had only used gas-powered mowers previously, and RIP to the lawnmower. Indeed, yeah. So yesterday, he went out to pick up a new one, and ended up getting a gas-powered mower. And then today, put oil in it, put gas in it, got it together, put the bag on because it's got a bag thing in the back, like figured it out, did all the, did all of the sheet that it gave you all the instructions for it, right? Did all that part. Feeling pretty good about that. Pull the cord, starts right up, do a test mow, get a little mowing done, but it's hot. We're going to wait. We're going to have lunch. We're going to come back, and I'm going to mow the front lawn. No problems. Easy peasy. Then it didn't come back on. And you could smell gasoline. So, like, it had said in the start thing, hey, you do it 3 times. If it doesn't turn over, you got to wait a while because you flooded the engine with gas. Because there's no choke on it. It's automatic choke. So it's like, okay, well, if it's automatic choke, we'll figure it out. We're going to wait on it. So we waited on it. Didn't work. Worked once, never again. And I was like, maybe I didn't put enough gasoline in it. I definitely did not put enough gasoline in it when we tested it. So I filled it up really high with gas. Nothing. But then apparently, and this I've never seen this on a rip cord, pulling a cord to start a mower. The procedure is for this one is you pull the rope until you get some tension, and then you pull it to start it up, which I guess I did accidentally without realizing it the first time, but definitely did not do any follow-up times because I was really like going for it, trying to get this like motor to turn over, engine to turn over, and get this thing started. So that's going to be tomorrow, and we'll see if that's why it wasn't working. Because the idea of just like not having to worry about that cord and figuring out how that works and like dealing with all that, like I'm happy to do it, like, but it's very strange because I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. All right, Smash Mouth. Yes, they probably shouldn't have played that show. Marcus probably just in the moment. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. So it's the same way that people were kind of upset that Fozzy, which is Chris Jericho's band, performed because even if they were safe, they chose to perform at an unsafe venue in an unsafe event, and people do care about that, and it is the thing where it is the responsibility of everyone involved to do the things they need to do. And yes, Dr. Phillips reaches far longer than Smash Mouth, but if you hear, well, Smash Mouth has a concert, and maybe Smash Mouth was the thing that pushed you over the edge of going to Sturgis or not. Maybe that was it. Maybe Fozzy was enough to be like, we probably shouldn't go. But, like, they shouldn't have. Because a lot of people are going to get sick or be carriers and be asymptomatic and go back to wherever they're from with it. Because they're clearly not all, there at the event, because they all don't live there. So it is the thing. It is a global responsibility, and it's not just that. Yeah, because there are a lot of fans who are just like, yeah, Chris, I understand you're saying you did, like that Fozzy did all these things and you practiced all this stuff, but like you still performed to a very large crowd of unmasked people all jammed together. So you still performed at an unreasonable, in a dangerous event. So that's just, that's my take on it. And same thing of like, there's some stand-up stuff happening, and like when it is, okay, we're limiting how many people are going to be in the venue, and we're going to do online sales as well to kind of make up for some of the costs so that we can have people come. We're going to and, everyone has to be masked up, and we're going to sanitize the mics in between performers so they don't have to use the same microphone, or we're laving people up and making sure that they, aren't sharing anything. And it's like, there are people doing the work, and I want to applaud the people that are trying to do whatever they can to bring back live performance. I understand, there are some musicians. There was a thread that I thought was really interesting going around about a few musicians that are of a level where they're like, it's been a godsend that I don't tour. I've never made any money touring. I've just incurred debt. So it's like I miss playing live music, but I don't miss touring. And I thought that was really interesting because like there are some people that love it. It's their lifeblood. They need it. They can't wait to get back out there. And there are other people who are like, this has been very refreshing. I have not I believe a great musician, Harmar Superstar said, I did a lot of touring, so I didn't give up my spot. If I played the same place every year, it felt like I had to play it again. Um, and I thought, I just think that's really interesting that is, that there are some people out there that are just like, yeah, kind of rethinking those things. Um, but on the other hand, there are plenty of folks out there who are like, I can't wait to perform. I can't wait to be out there and to see everybody and to do all the stuff that I love doing. And I get that. Yeah, nothing but respect for the grind that some people have. Uh, on this note, I was thinking the other day that I think I will send an email to the Bombcast, see what they have to say. Is there any way for Microsoft and Sony to do hands-on for press safely for new consoles? So yeah, I wonder. I imagine. Well, so I think Jeff brought up, or either Jeff or Vinny, and I think they talked about it on the Hotspot. So that's not a podcast that everyone has access to. But they were talking about, uh, you know, not being in the office when new consoles come out, and how does that work? How do you get consoles to people? How many consoles are we going to get? Because ostensibly you have a few people to pick them up, but you also have one at each office, and then people play on the office one and kind of like play through stuff to get ready for quick looks or whatever. Now it's going to be like most likely it'll be only a few people have that. Yeah, it was a great conversation. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, the notion that need one each for each console for everybody is very expensive. Yeah. Yes. Lord Creston says the notion that they need one for each console for everybody. Yeah, and that's the thing. Eventually, everyone does get it, right? Because they don't want to play at the office, and they don't want to. They want to see the new thing, right? So eventually they do, but like not everyone, right? Yeah. Um, Instead of getting like two to the West Coast and two to the East Coast, and maybe one person bring what's one home because they're working on something, so they can log into their accounts and figure that part out. But it's going to be a different thing for a lot of like some sites have plenty of people that already worked freelance for them, right? So they're already responsible to get their own console. That's not an issue for some websites that was already doing it. But it is going to be odd. But I don't think there's going to be hands-on. I think they're going to be, there might be something. What there might be is they might send the consoles out and have, demos or whatever, and like timed demo things where they're like, hey, log into your account on this time and tell us your machine so we can whitelist it, and then you can play this multiplayer game, or whatever. Or you can play these demos that we set up and we're sending you. We might see something like that, more so than anything else. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, how these companies deal with this, large and small. I don't know. Nobody knows. And like freelancers that want to work and do, oops, I dropped this thing again. This happened, this is like the third time. Where'd it go? Sorry. Uh, Crazy Like Fox just subscribed. Hello, chat. Long time no see. Crazy Like Fox, thank you so much for your subscription. Renewing. Let's throw the Baer cable and set them on there. That's 13 months. Thank you so much for your continued support. People renewing their subs today. That's awesome. Love to see it. So how to accidentally get Microsoft and Sony to send me a console because I'm pressed. Yeah. But the freelance game has always been like the rush to get stuff, and it's like, well, hopefully freelancers will be in a financial position to be able to do that, but I don't know. To say you're an influencer, yeah, last week, like, yeah. Oh, I'm a streamer with this amount, I'm an influencer in this part of the world, but they know it's not. I don't think it's going to be interesting to see how it works out for people. I don't know. It's weird times. We are in weird times. And I don't know if people will figure it out. The thing I'm interested in, I like chatting about stuff like some groups that I watch, some people that I watch do stuff. They're in Los Angeles, right? And so they kind of like are back in the office a bit, or they were back and now they're home again, or they're figuring things out, or they're doing whatever. Some Canadian folks that I know are working on some stuff and kind of working together because they can do some social distance stuff and there are restrictions for filming, things like that. CBS Interactive says don't expect to be in the office till such and such a date next year. So yeah, Epic Open World. I mean, that's the thing, right? So like they're like if they're going to send consoles to GameSpot, what does that mean? Do they all send it to the most senior employee at GameSpot that someone knows? They know Jeff Gerstmann. Are they going to have like a messenger service bring him a console? Or consoles? Is it going to have to be like, well, you got to know somebody and they can like tell you where the drop off is? Like, I don't know how they're going to handle that. It'll be interesting to see if anybody talks about it, if there is, or if they're just like, we're not sending consoles out this year. Here are the links to buy them. Or who gets dev kits, or if they get dev kits, because some do and some don't, and yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing to see. All right, we're gonna put an arm aside, and we're gonna focus on the right arm right now. So we'll get the right arm going. Both companies sent out all those camera kits for their online streams. Yes, yeah, I mean they did. They were sending stuff out, trying to, and hey, there are GameStops open in parts of the country. There will be midnight launch events that will be poorly set up, and hopefully you won't see stories of I got COVID trying to get my PS5 because the GameStop I pre-ordered in said I had to come and get it, and they whatever. Like, ugh. I would definitely, despite all of the issues with the postal service, I would say if you're going to get a console, you want to do that on Amazon, probably. I would say probably you want to, or like, yes, I would say, don't do in-store pickup if you can avoid it. But also, you do you. Everybody gets in a car line. Yeah, such a weird year at the new generation feels like. Well, the real thing is, Mr. Bob, the thing that, and some people will say this, like, everything cool about the new generation either is technical stuff that doesn't translate too well to hype, or it is stuff that doesn't look good on a live stream. It just, it's just, and that is the issue we're going to have for movies and visual stuff, movies particularly, but video games certainly. For a very long time, things are not going to look great when you're watching them on your computer. There just aren't. And then when you're playing them, I think they will look really great. But that's it. Uh, yeah, you can't show that stuff on the stream. Um, the SSDs are the game changer. Yeah, yeah, and then and the thing is that like load times aren't sexy. They tried. They said they're like no loading screens, and people are like, I mean, okay, unless they're really bad, people are like, I mean, cool, thank you, but like, all right. Uh, I mean, they always try to get something flashy, right? Like, way more characters on the screen. There are going to be so many crabs for you to fight. You know, like they try. They've always tried to do that stuff, and sometimes they're successful, and sometimes they aren't. Um, it's interesting to see what resonates with people, and what people are like. Okay, um, but yeah, SSDs don't really sound like that. Listen, have you tried to play Witcher 3 on a console? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. I haven't tried to play Witcher 3 on a console, Epic Open World. So, like, I don't know. Okay. This computer is not beefy. I have, like a 970 in here. This is not a machine, high powered machine. It plays a lot of indie stuff really well, and like, Control didn't play incredible. Control played good, also because I'm doing 1080. Uh, Control played all right, but like it wasn't the best, and also maybe it wasn't optimized properly or whatever. But like yeah, but to me, look, I don't see. I see stuttering, but I don't see frame drops. That I don't see it, but I do. Like I just don't like my eyes don't interpret it that way. So like screen tearing isn't something that like I'm very visually aware of. But yeah, I mean stuttering or something like that, slow down, like I can tell. But um claiming there was a time when a Windows load in 8 seconds until more data reads get loaded. Yeah, claiming no notifications is dangerous, although semi-online games like Destiny have network companies. Yeah, I mean, it is a dangerous thing to say no load times, or faster load times. Same with games, they get higher and higher graphics, and so you need to upgrade every now and again. Yeah, QI Breaker, you're totally right. That's the thing, right? Like, when people were like, well, why do I need a new console? Well, because games, they're going to build games for those consoles. Like, exclusives are a thing. People don't like exclusives because they are not pro-consumer. They're pro the business, and like, yeah, they are. But it's also like where you get those sometimes interesting things when they are on exclusives. That's a kind of a different conversation. The days where you have a 32 megabyte graphics card is enough for a 1080 resolution game is over. Yeah, yeah, I mean, like, I'm going to still play some cool indie stuff, right? But in a couple years, the hot new PC game, or most likely, the not fully optimized port of a PC game might not work great on my system. My system is going to eventually not work great for what I want to do, which is play some games. There'll be smaller things, some innovative things that will play just fine. But some of the bigger titles that show up might not. Um, I'm hoping the next Yakuza game comes to PC. If it is, I apologize for not following to know, but I hope it does, and I hope it runs well because that's a game I would like to play as someone that is, you know, currently like without a console. Like I have no consoles right now. So, but I like the Yakuza games, so I would like to play one of those, if at all possible, when at all possible. Okay, so this goes like this. This is going to go like that. And this is going to go here. Yakuza is coming to PC. Epic World, that's great to hear. because I want to play that game because I like that series. So that is great to hear. I hadn't been keeping track. But yeah, that's a really fun thing. But that also might struggle. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So I messed up here. Uh, the way this hand is attached, the armor locks it in place. So I have to pop the armor off. I'm going to pull a tool out here to pop this off. Let's use our sponger here. Um, but basically, I'm going to slide this in here instead of it popping in and having the rotation. It's going to come in here, which is definitely less mobility, but might mean that it doesn't pop out, which I would be happy with. So we got to pop this part off here, and hopefully not break anything. Yay, we didn't break anything. And then that's going to slide on here. And then that will lock it in place. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's all everything's weird, and it's all a weird time. Uh, like I have a pre-ordered model kit coming to this house in January because I don't think I'm going to be here in January, but I don't know where I'm going to be in January. So it was just like it makes more sense. Like I'm expected to be here in September. So when I have something coming here in September, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, I don't know. Don't know what the future holds. Uh, it's all gonna be weird. But anyway, I thought I was going to mow the lawn today, and I didn't mow the lawn. To go back to that briefly, I thought I was going to be a lawnmower man, and I was not a lawn mowing man. Um, and that's fine. I'll just do it tomorrow. But it was like, oh, Pat, when you are streaming from Spain, it will be a great day. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. Look, it would be very cool if I could travel to Europe in 2000 something or other again. I would enjoy going back there. It's been a long time since I was out there. I was a kid when last time I was in Spain, but I don't think that's gonna be it. I think it'll be more likely that I think we'll do open hand here instead of the fist. Yeah, we're gonna do open hand. That looks cool. Let's pull that aside. All right, we got one more part of the arm to do, and I'll show you the trick they come up with, which is kind of interesting. So we have to put the frame cover on here. These are these tube things are in a couple kits. Cut this open a little bit more. I've done these a few times before. Luckily, we don't have to cut these to size. They're just already shaped, right? But they're meant to slide. They're going to slide on the arm here. They're going to go from the arm part here, like this part here, and then they're going to go from that to this part here. And it looks kind of cool, but it's got to look like it is some sort of insulation or tubing or whatever. So we need to crinkle it up so it looks like, I don't know, some sort of connector. So what they did is they said, oh, well, you have this weapon that has this like solid tube part here, right here. So their advice is clip this part out, don't throw it away because you need it. It's not just a tool, but you can take this part out early and then use that to slide this piece on and crinkle it up. And then you can slide it off and then slide that part on. So you don't have to do it freehand, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I said, this part, like, they want to replicate it, and I think this is a better solution than other kits because they give you a way to do it. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I just got to get this open here. It's like not my favorite part of a model kit build, but Oh, there's some interesting things to this kit that I'm psyched to be doing. I'm just happy to be working on a master grade. Um, this will be, a couple more streams, but basically this whole week will be this kit. Uh, my next build after that will either be a high grade or something from the world of Star Trek. That's right. It's going to be a very quick build because it is a small little thing. But I bought a model kit of the Defiant from Deep Space Nine, and it has so many water transfer decals that I'm at least going to try to do some of them. I haven't done any decals since I got down here, but I'm at least going to try a couple of them because there are so many, and it's going to look very plain without it because there are no other stickers involved. Okay, so did I get this open? Yeah, this is open. So I'm going to use my tweezers to kind of hold it open so that I can do this, fold it down, which I learned the last time. So now it's like this. So when it opens up, it can slide on here. Then we slide it through, and now we are going to crinkle this up by shoving it together in the middle. Got to get the crinkles going there. I'm going to keep this away from my mic because I don't want to accidentally ASMR y'all. I don't want to get you the crinkle tinkles by these crinkle tinkles. So I'm almost done with Echoes of Calling 2, and I started the Majima construction subplot. And man, I don't think that mini game is great. Yeah, I mean so. Here's the thing, right? Sometimes like 0 is its own game, right? But 1 and 2 are like they're remakes, but they're pretty faithful. It's like at a certain point, it's still the second game. It's different, but it still is the second game. So yeah, there's some parts of that. I didn't finish 2. I finished 2 a long time ago. I didn't finish Kiwami 2, I should say. But I played the second one before. All right, so we crinkled this thing up. This is looking all right. We're going to put this aside because we're going to need it later for a weapon, but also need it later for this. And then we kind of like guide it in so it looks like it's stuck in here. There's no good way to keep it in place, really. So it might come out, which is okay. And then we're going to attach the arm here. And then oops, that popped off. It's okay. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I always say, like 0 is great. You can play 0, and then like I know some people went from 0 to 6, and I think that is like a fairly reasonable thing to do. If you're just like, I just want to, I don't know, I'm gonna not know exactly what's going on, but let's do it. I mean, 0 gives you so much Majima backstory that it really does change like the other games. Really does open up that game a lot to suddenly like know some stuff about that dude. All right, so let's put this like this, and then we gotta shove this part in here to the arm. Great, we did it. And that goes in there, and that goes like that. And then this clamps on this because hidden machine guns. That's right. This has hidden guns, which is very fun. Hidden Vulcans. Because you got to have some Vulcans if you're a mobile suit. But anyway, like I said, I'm excited to try a company I've never like heard of and do a Star Trek kit, like a Star Trek model kit. I'm very excited about that. Defiant is a good place to start. Good old Casey, Regretta Garbo out there on the internet, was like, oh, am I going to be this person and get this? And I was like, I'm going to get it. I downloaded 0 on PC Game Pass. Well, Mr. Bob, I think you're going to like it. It's got a great setting, and I think it's a really fun game, and I think the fights are really solid. I played Zero, and I'm playing Call Me 2 because it's basically a sequel to Zero, and I fucking love Zero. I don't think Call Me 2 is as good as Zero. Yeah, because it's also like a remake of 2. So, I mean, it is like, you know, it is what it is, in my opinion. Uh, I still think it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. Okay, so now we got to put some. We got to build the shoulders of our kit here. We will take a pause for the calls in about 10 minutes or so, and then we will talk about ways you can support the channel and do all that. 2 connects directly to 0. Yes, it does. Um, Kiwami 2 kind of ties in some ways to 0 is setting up some events that pay off in 2 in some ways. But it also, like, you could just play 0. We got a raid here. Hitmonkey, welcome, or Hitmonkai. Welcome. Hello, welcome to the Baer Cave. My name is Pat Baer. I am a model kit assembler and a lover of anime and a talker of whatever's going on. We're chatting about some stuff. Technically, Will, thank you for technically following. I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome. I build model kits on this stream, or on this channel, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. And then one day a week, which is generally Wednesday nights, I do something else, non-gaming, or non-building, usually gaming. This particular Wednesday, my next stream after this stream, I will be playing Hearthstone because there's a new expansion. And I was like, oh, I should play Hearthstone with the new expansion comes out. Not realizing I don't like this new expansion. I liked the last expansion quite a bit. I had a lot of fun. And the one before that, quite a bit. But this one, not as much. Because I'm not playing decks that take advantage of Spell Burst, which is the new mechanic that people like. And so I'm like, oh, shit. I haven't found like a deck I really love right now. Found a couple new cards to go in decks I already liked, but it's like I'm still playing Evolve, Invoke, Shaman with no new cards because none of the new cards for Shaman make that deck any better or fill in any spots. So I'm like, oh, well, shit. But more of that tomorrow on Wednesday, I should say. Okay, so we need H. H is the gold. We're putting some gold on here. H and D. Go. But yeah, we're working on the NT-1 here from 0080. And this is a very cool kit. This also has nonsense armor that goes on over it. So we'll build the kit, and then we'll put the framework on it, which is this stuff, and then we'll put on armor on top of that, and it will look very cool and very different. I did appreciate a number of reviewers because when I get a new kit, I often go and watch some reviews on. So we got 3 of these. Okay, on YouTube because I like hearing from people that build a lot of kits and talk about those kits. Hearing what they liked and what they didn't like about a build is very helpful. And the number one thing I heard about this was just, I wish I had 2 of these. So in Hearthstone's still going strong. I feel like WoW, Overwatch, and Hearthstone is kind of just existing to the point. I can't tell you about World of Warcraft. I can't tell you about Overwatch. I think most people there are a lot of people still playing Overwatch that really like it. They are interested in Overwatch 2. I think that the hype has died down a little bit in anticipation of that, but there's still people that play Overwatch. There are still a lot of people that play Hearthstone because it is still a game that, it takes a while to build up stuff, but you can still play for little to no money. And I think people will come back to Hearthstone, right? They will try other card games. They will give other ones a shot, and generally what ends up happening is they're just like, okay, I'm going to go back to Hearthstone. Um, Now the Demon Hunter class, the first new class ever in Hearthstone, that brought in a bunch of people that have kind of been lapsed. Also, as people find themselves in front of a computer more, at home more, Hearthstone streams have gone up uh, these past few months. So I don't know if that translates necessarily, how much that translates to people playing the game more, but people are watching. Uh, it seems like a lot of Hearthstone streamers have had an increase in their Twitch. Of course, as their YouTube money goes down, because lots of people's YouTube money is going down. Uh, but yeah, so I can only really speak to that part of it. I haven't noticed an issue of finding people at my level, but my level is, I'm not super technically savvy when it comes to Hearthstone, but I am okay at it, and I do all right every season. So, I'm not making legend, but I'm doing okay. Uh, Not that I hate Demon Hunter, but I prefer them releasing Death Knight first. Yeah, I mean the Death Knight cards was fun. I played the physical cards before. Yeah, I liked Demon Hunter because it shook everything up for a little while, and that's generally what I'm looking for. Is this thing that is about to happen? Can this shake things up? Can this change? What's going on? Uh, the hope is that there aren't just like, because the thing what ends up happening is everyone decides a few decks are the best decks to play, and then there is the deck that beats those decks. So people are only playing like 3 or 4 decks, and that's kind of frustrating. Because I like playing a lot of this stuff, which is why exclusively now I am a person that just plays in Wild, and I don't play Standard, because Wild has more variety, because there are people who are still goofing around and find that more fun, whereas I don't have fun in Standard. So yeah, I switched to Wild at a certain point, also because there were like cards I liked playing that suddenly I can't play anymore. So it is fun to go in and do that. So you find your fun. This one is not going in right. There it is. Great. Okay, so we got these things in. Now we are about to finish this arm up here. So we'll get the pieces we need to do that. D7. Great. But yeah, I I played Magic very briefly early on in the world of Magic. Decided that wasn't for me. Um, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, physical cards, and then also a lot of the Game Boy Advance games, because the World Tour mode was like official cards. This was the thing. Some people don't know this about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters that I loved. Was so what they would do is they would put out the World Tour, the World Tournament. Sorry, not tour, World Tournament, which was all of the current up to that game rules that were part of the physical ones up to a release was all of that. And then they would do a weird one that was like different rules and different styles. Like if you bought for the PlayStation a Yu-Gi-Oh card game, most likely it wasn't the Duel Monsters game. It was like a weird version of it. But the GBA games were the proper version. And I played a lot of that because you'd have to buy physical cards. You just played to unlock the cards you wanted, which to me was perfect. Um, and I played a lot of Duel Monsters. And then I didn't play card games for a long time, and I started watching people play Hearthstone. And I started getting really into Hearthstone, and I play a few games a day now. Sometimes way more than others. Some days I'm playing a ton of Hearthstone. Sometimes I am playing very little Hearthstone. It all depends on the day, really. But I really do enjoy it. So I don't know. It's a game I can devote some time to, and then I don't have to, then I can also be like, I'm not going to play for a couple days. And then go in, do a couple quests, get some gold, buy some cards, try out some new stuff. I mean, I end up watching a lot of Hearthstone streamers. In the background, while I'm doing other things, I often have that. And then also, I follow four people that put out Hearthstone video. Oh God, I'm just, as I'm saying it out loud, I realize, no, 5 of the people I subscribe to on YouTube make daily videos about Hearthstone because they spread it out. There's like 2 that come out around the same time in the morning, and I watch those. And there's one that comes out later in the afternoon, and there are 2 that come out in the evening. And sometimes one of the guys will send it earlier in the evening because he's trying to figure out a new times. But I realized, like, oh wait, no, I watch a lot of videos about Hearthstone. Oh no, oh no, I definitely do. All right, so let's keep going here, and we're going to take a break in a moment or two for folks that are tuning in that want to know what's going on. We will take a pause for the cause in a moment. I will explain what that means. It's nothing. No, it's nothing to worry about. It just means that we'll take like a commercial break, basically, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel if you want to do that. You're under no obligation, as always, but if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to. I got a DM I have to send about a thing. I am doing Pat Baer's Anime Club for PAX online. I'm very excited about that. It feels weird to know I'm not going to Seattle next month, except it doesn't feel weird because that's what I should be. I shouldn't be going to Seattle next month, but it still feels weird to be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be there. But yeah, so I'm gonna do Pat Baer's Anime Club there, and then I'm also a part of another show that I have nothing to do with. I decided that improvised postmortem doesn't work as a thing on Zoom. It just doesn't. So I'm not going to be doing it as a Zoom. I will be instead doing a. I'm just going to do a Pepper's Anime Club with 3 guests. 2 that have been announced. One's coming. Announcement is coming soon because I'm still confirming if they have the time in August to record this, because it will be pre-recorded. Because that is the easiest way to do that. There are going to be a few panels for PAX that will be live, but most of them will be pre-recorded. And I think that's fine. I'm like, okay, sure. Thanks for having me. But originally the goal was to book someone who doesn't do PAX. Because that's an opportunity to book people from outside the system. But unfortunately, what ended up happening was, well, then you still have people who are busy. One of the reasons they don't go to PAX, they're still busy even if they're home. So you're like, oh, shit. Okay, well, let me know if you can come in the future. All right, I need F. I need to get F out here again. Let me figure out where this went. It's hiding. G, H, I, where did F go? J. No, but seriously. How did I lose Trey? I swear. Here it is. F. Found it. I miss my shelving. I miss my... I think that was a really easy way to keep things organized. Decided it didn't make sense for me to travel with it. But yeah, that shelving unit was helpful. Okay, then we'll do fist on this one. Close fist for now. Put it there for a second. All right, we're going to assemble this hand, then we're going to take a pause for the cause. And I'll talk about ways you can support the channel if you want to. You're under no obligation to do so, but if you want to, you can. Because that is how things work around here. And then, we'll talk about, after that, we will talk about anime that came out in the last couple days since my last stream on Saturday that I've been watching. And then, I don't know, other stuff will come up. We'll talk about other things, I'm sure. Might do the whole... I'm so used to putting the armor on before you put the hand on that I did exactly what I did the last time. Usually, when I do something and mess it up on one arm, I learn from my mistakes and don't do the same issue on the other arm. But that is, I literally made the same mistake. I'm just so used to it, right? I'm just like, that is the thing that I know to do, is you connect these. You put the armor on the hand, but in this case you don't. You take the hand, you put the hand through, you force it in there, which always feels bad. But you gotta. Okay, and then you can put that on there, and okay, you got a fist. All right, so we're gonna take a pause for the cause. Thanks, first and foremost, thank you to everybody watching the stream right now. If you're new to the channel, new to watching this, it's been, you don't know what's going on. This is going to be a few minutes. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel, and then we'll get back to building. But so this should be pretty quick, just like chatting about some stuff. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Moat into chat. Now, you don't have to subscribe. You don't even have to chat. You can just watch. But if you'd like to become a subscriber, it does help me very much, and I appreciate it. You can use your Twitch Prime token. If you have Amazon Prime linked to Twitch, you get a token. You can use that. You can also use Cash Money. That is a way to support the channel. Hey, Dirty, what's up? Welcome. That is a way to support the channel and what I do here. I have other ways to support, and I appreciate if you would take a gander at those. I'm going to talk about those very quickly right now as soon as I bring up my Nightbot commands. So, you can subscribe here. You can also gift a sub. Gift a sub to somebody in chat. Do them a solid. If you're already a subscriber, you could do that. You can also do bits and coins. Right now, there is no one in the sub leaderboard, so if you gifted one subscription, you would jump to the top of that. But also, I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/PatBaer, my name. And that is to support what I do here as an alternative, because there's $1 tiers, $3 tier, $5, and $10 tiers. And coming in September, I am going to be setting up Coffee Gold as an alternative to Patreon, because Patreon continues to show that it needs a lot of small patrons, but it doesn't like its small patrons. Or if they do like us, they have a funny way of showing it. So I am going to try to move off of Patreon and setting up an alternative. And hopefully I'll be doing that in September. I'm still looking at that, trying to figure out how to do that. But I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon if you want to. You're more than welcome to do it. It'll be still going on in September. It's just I'm going to look at it another way. Now, anything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, YouTube ad revenue, which someday I'll get another payout. All that goes to buying kits and equipment. If you want to help with me buying model kits, because as you know, when you buy a model kit, you built that model kit. You build it, and then you're done. So you can also directly donate with Coffee or Streamlabs or PayPal. And that money goes into a fund that I buy model kits with. I bought this kit that I'm building right now with funds from Patreon. When my Patreon came in, I was like, oh, it's time to buy a model kit. And I did. I buy model kits. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Pat, I'd buy you a model kit. Well, if that's how you feel, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's ever bought a kit for me to build on stream. You could jump the queue. If you buy something for me to build, I have 2 kits, as I said. waiting for me to build after this. But if something comes in off my wish list, that gets priority, and I'll build that next because I have an Amazon wish list. I have inexpensive Lego sets. I'm talking. There's one kit on here. It's a 3-in-1, so it'll take me like like a stream and a half to build it. All three versions of it. That's $10 on Amazon Prime. But yeah, I've got some inexpensive stuff from that. I've got some Lego sets and some model kits that are high grades and some that are master grades and some that are that's a little sale there. I'm just noticing a kit that's on sale. A little discounted there. Some glue kits that are on there, big expensive master grades. I've got a bunch of stuff on there. A little equipment on the bottom of the list there because it's always nice to have equipment because some people are like, I don't know what kit to buy, but if you need this, I'll buy this, which is generous, and I appreciate that. Again, for folks that are like, when are you going to build again? I will. Don't worry about it. We'll get back to it. But I got to talk through this stuff because I don't take any other breaks. I take one break at stream to talk about how to support. So I have an alternative to my Amazon wish list. It's not the same as another list, but USA Gundam Store sells gift cards, and they will email you with the code. So you can go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card, and then whisper me on Twitch, whisper me here on Twitch or DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open, and be like, hey, I got you this code. Get something, and you could even be like, you should get this thing, and then I appreciate that, and it's very nice of folks that have done that. Only a couple people have done that, but I want to have an alternative. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord if you want to talk with like-minded folks. People share stuff they're working on, and I post photos of things that I'm working on. It's a nice little community. It's very small. Usually there's only like 1 to 2 posts a day from people, but I post build photos of stuff I'm working on as well, and it's a nice little Discord. Join a pleasant Discord, why don't you? You deserve it. Okay, videos that I've made. I will have a new Baering the List this coming Wednesday, but I do a new series every week from Baering the List where I rank things using Tier Maker. I ranked Oreos because that was a list that existed on Tier Maker, and I wanted to do it. But I rank all kinds of different things. Next week is another anime one. It's a long anime one, but it was suggested by someone, so I was like, well, if I like this idea, so I did it. Also, Pat Baer's Anime Club, I mentioned I have that is a show that I'm doing. This was a live stream. It was 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday. I did a live stream with Pat Baer's Anime Club where I talked about this season and what I'm liking and what I'm watching. And it's like 2 hours. It's the longest Pat Baer's Anime Club. But yeah, you can check that out if you missed the live stream. That's a way to watch that there. But the next one that'll come out, which is coming out this coming Monday, because it comes out on Monday, every other Monday, will be a shorter one. I'm going to be talking, and I'll tell you right now, folks, hey, this is the first time I talked about what it's going to be. Next Monday's Pat Baer's Anime Club is going to be a look at the YouTube channels and websites I visit for anime news and anime commentary. So I'm going to be highlighting a few. Some may be well known to you. Others you may not have heard of. So that is, so it'll be another thing where I'm, basically using the internet and looking at stuff. But I'll give a shout out to a few things that I think are pretty neat and that you may want to check out if you're looking for some new stuff to follow on YouTube or some new websites to visit. I figured that would be kind of a nice little thing of how do I find anime using the internet, which is 2 videos ago. This is a nice little thing to go with that. All right, so I'm going to drink a little water and then we are going to get back to building here. And talking about anime that came out since my last stream. Dirty, thank you, Dirty, throwing in the water Nightbot command so I can drink some water. I cleaned up my Nightbot list, folks. I got rid of Honk. Actually, Lord Crashington said I got rid of Honk. People hadn't done Honk and Goose in a long time, so I got rid of that. Dirty is just using his channel points to redeem the gong. If you're new to the stream, I got this gong. My former roommate left it in the apartment, and so now I have it, and I can do that. And then, oh no, we've got 3 gongs in a row. This is the decorative gong, definitely bought for his sketch comedy bit, which he left, and I was like, do you want this? And he said no. And I was like, well, I'm keeping it. Meditative gongs only, right? Yeah. All right. So we had 3 gong hits there because y'all rack up the channel points because I don't do much with them. I have that, and I have my soundboard thing that I got for Christmas when channel points were like just becoming a thing, and it made sense to include that. All right, let's go back to building, and then we're going to talk about anime that came out since the last stream, which was Saturday. So Saturday nights, while I'm doing this stream, like literally while I'm streaming, One Piece comes out, and so we'll talk about that. There's not a lot happened in this episode of One Piece, which is kind of a bummer because last week's episode had like a lot of action and it was pretty fun. This one had a little bit more, but then like like stuff is going on. Oh, I gotta clip this to get. We gotta get this other piece out, so I'm just gonna use the cutters to tear this plastic without ripping the thing. We'll just do that. Put that aside for trash. So we did end on somewhat of a cliffhanger. Oh, Dirty asked question. So before I get into One Piece, I will answer this question. Does it ever feel weird watching shows that use your name for a character, especially villains? So there aren't a lot of Pats in media. Patrick and Pat isn't necessarily that common of a name. Now, Baer, not my spelling, is definitely in there, meaning an animal, especially like One Piece. We pretty recently had a gifter who was a bear. So when I hear Kuma, the thing is, when I hear Kuma, I don't necessarily associate it with my own name, unless I'm, watching a dub and they say Baer. But there aren't a lot of characters named Pat or Patrick in the world of fiction and media. There are some, but not a lot. So it doesn't actually come up that often. Thank you for using the question thing. And as always, I will answer questions if I see them. But it is also nice to use the channel points. Hiyori is Momo's little sister. Momo is the dragon guy and she's an adult. She's in her early 20s or mid 20s, but they jumped in the future. So her older brother, who is 2 years older than her, is 8, and that's weird. She didn't talk. So the explanation of most characters with my name are usually sexual predators. Oh, that's a bummer. Ne'er-do-wells or redneck stereo. Oh man, idiots. That's a bummer, Dirty. I am sorry to hear that. Well, someday you'll get your redemption. Someday you'll get a really great character with your name, and you'll be like, hell yeah. So I think this explanation sucks. So what happened was, at a certain point, the kingdom was in danger, and everyone's going to die, right? And so the vassals and the future king of this kingdom go forward in time. Because that's all they can do to help them. But they didn't want to separate. They didn't want to have both go, the son and daughter go, because they want to continue the bloodline. So the idea is, well, we'll separate them, so it gives a better chance of that happening, which feels like weird and a bummer. Fucking sucks. Of course, but the older brother, we'll send him into the future, and we'll keep the younger sister here, knowing that as they're sending them, that's how their mother passed away and their father was killed. So it's like, okay. But we see her be raised by one of her father's retainers and oh, hey, guess what? The guy, the Kappa, who's not a real Kappa, but we find out that's the dude that's been in prison that we haven't seen the face of. There's a guy in the prison that Luffy is in who's been watching and cheering him on, and we didn't know who that was, and it turns out that's the guy that raised her. So that's cool. There's a cute bit with Odako, who is the girl that laughs all the time and is kind of creepy and kind of annoying. Uh, I don't love her. But the thing where he's zonked out and then she's also zonked out. Uh, and then Hiyori lays down on Zoro to keep him warm while he recovers from his injuries that he had in his last fight because he's got to go back out there and try to get his dang swords back. He needs those swords back, or his sword, I should. Yeah, he's got to get his third sword, which is his best one. So he's got to go do that. So she's keeping him warm, and it's like, oh, kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's a love interest because I don't think Zoro is gonna end up with a love interest. That's not really in his character. But maybe. It's kind of nice. That was a nice little moment. Law storms off because Law and the ninja are arguing because there is some sort of traitor probably, and people are getting information and things are kind of falling apart, which is a bummer. Let's see. Hyo, the old man in prison, the old man apparently fucking knows this kind of hockey that Luffy's trying to learn, that he has been trying to learn in bits and starts for the last 6 episodes. It feels like the hockey that he saw Rayleigh use, and then another person also used it at one point, and he's like, "That's the hockey I want to use. I gotta learn how to use that." Well, apparently the old man's gonna be able to teach him. And he does it. He does a thing, and it's very similar. Doesn't seem identical to the other way, but it is similar, and it does the desired effect, which is what Luffy is looking for, which is to blast his enemies away with an energy thing without really touching them. So good for Luffy, and good for us because it means that part of the plot is continuing. And that's the episode. So like I said, not a lot happened, but there were some interesting reveals. There's some poor justifications. There's a couple cute moments. It will be, and the show continues on. So, as I said, there's not a lot, and I'm watching a show that I don't know if I can recommend Ninja Collection to you. Ninja Collection is on Crunchyroll. It's 4.5 minutes. It's not great. It's little self-contained horror story, modern horror story things. So this is, the animation is definitely I wouldn't call it low quality. It's stylized, but it's lips don't move when they're talking, because it's a lot of it's almost like a motion comic. There is some motion, but there's very few frames of animation, and it is mostly dialogue and lots of artwork. And it's kind of cool. I think the art is the thing that I'm and the stories are short, so I'm okay, I'll watch more of this. Anyway, two guys are talking about a cheap place one of them moved into, and they kind of jokingly mentioned that for the price, it needs a little fixing up, but the price is really good. Maybe it's one of those troubled history places. Ooh, bum bum bum. There's a tiny hole in the wall. It's a little sliver in the wall. At night the guy notices that something's dripping from the ceiling, and maybe it's blood, and he goes up to where it's coming from, and there's creepy sounds, and he doesn't know what's going on, and it all feels real weird. And then he comes back in. He's just I'm just going to go to sleep, and in the morning I'll talk to the realtor. I can't deal with this. Anyway, the stain gets bigger, and it's looks like the shape of a body, and then it grows much larger, and then it becomes a shadow, and it's closing in on the guy, and he's freaked out because it's arms are reaching out and hands are going to touch him, and then a samurai sword comes through the slit in the wall from the next room and kills the thing. And then the guy says, "Thank you." And the other person is "No problem." And it's implied that that's the ninja from the one of the four ninjas who are protecting the world from monsters, which is the loose plot of Ninja Collection. A monster thing happens, and by the end of it, in 4 minutes and change, somebody figures it out and saves the day. It's a weird show. Uh, like I said, if they were trying to do like even a 12-minute thing, I think I probably wouldn't watch it. But at um, this length, yeah, I'll watch it. Because I think it's a cute little not cute, but it's like kind of interesting, kind of cool. And also, as I said, not a lot of anime for me to watch that comes out on Sundays and Mondays. So please give me something to watch. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I still think that God of High School might be the best show this season that I'm watching. Of all of the shows that I'm watching, I'm going to quickly look. Uh, yeah, because I think Uzaki-chan is good, but not great. I think Misfit of Demon King Academy is interesting in some of the ways. Diary of Our Days of the Breakwater, is a good slice of life, but it's not the chill slice of life that I wish it was. It's got kind of sports anime vibes where the main character is still getting dunked on pretty hard. Not basketball dunked on, but situationally dunked on in a way that is a good slice of life, but isn't my favorite style of thing. Um, so yeah, I think God of High School, which I recommend. I'm also fascinated by the whole idea of webtoons and some of those coming here as full-fledged Japanese animation. I think is neat. I think it's very cool. Uh, I'm super into it. So it's kind of neat to see that and to watch those shows. So anyway, a bunch of shit happened in this episode. Holy crap! This episode was packed full of stuff. I'm glad I took notes. Anyway, so Jin, our main dude, his grandpa. We see his grandpa. We haven't seen him before. We see him in flashbacks. We haven't seen him do stuff. He lives in the mountains, but he sent Jin into the city to go to school. But he still lives out in the mountains, and the cult shows up. Now we've seen the cult before. They were in the opening thing, the opening of the show. They're the ones that one of their minions tried to attack the girl in the show. What's her name? Mira. That's the guy that tried to marry Mira and then attack Mira because reasons. And they're either the leader of the group is called Nox or they're called Nox. I'm a little unclear on that. But they are they're the bad people. Now here's the thing. And then Jin is or Jin's grandfather, Taijin, is I'm not gonna join you. And I will say, to be fair, their pitch on why he should join their cult was a really bad one. They were just kind of we're looking for people of destiny and the world is going to end and blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those things where you're your sales pitch is pretty crappy. It's just you need to work a little harder if you're going to get this well-regarded, well-respected martial artist to join your cult. The cult of Persona Summoners. Yes, dirty. Hey, guess what? We're going to learn more about how that fucking shit works. So here's the thing I want to tell you right now, y'all. It was not until this episode that I found out that the cult and the organizers of the tournament are different people, that they are in conflict. I thought this was all the same shit. And that's what happens when you have mysterious organizations and you show instead of tell. And I respect the art of show instead of tell. But when you're hinting at things and foreshadowing, the cult people, the guy that killed people on an island, the guy that has this thing that has attacked people, is not the same as the organization that is running this God of High School tournament. Those are conflicting groups, and I had no idea. Now I know, Because I was like, yeah, why are they attacking this girl? She's in this tournament. They weren't attacking her. The other people were, and that was unrelated. And boy, I'm glad I know that now. So, um, but a thing that has changed, a thing that like, oh, this is very smart if you want to keep characters you've already established around. So they changed the rules of the tournament. The tournament was supposed to be the winner of each prelim was going on to the Korean finals for the God of High School. So we saw the Seoul champion was Jin. But apparently it is the top 3 fighters from each one will go on, which they change, and they're going to fight as a team. Now, that's interesting because it means there's more characters, but it's also practically smart because it means that the other 2 characters that we've come to like and respect won't just be written off the show, and we won't just like focus on one dude. So it was like, oh, okay. And they kind of explain it. Uh, it takes very little time for Mira to beat the guy that Jin beat that we didn't even really see. So she's going to be the 3rd member of it. So they're searching for the key. The tournament is to bring out the potential of people, and the other people are like thinking, the cult is thinking that these people will be part of, like that one of them will be the key they need. So they're looking for the key with a capital K. Yeah, it was news to me about that. So the 6 have been summoned. The guy that we know who's running that tournament, who's not one of the commissioners, he's in charge of the commissioners, is one of the 6. We remember that Jin's justification for fighting this tournament is to fight strong people. He's got Goku justification, which is the worst justification for fighting in a tournament, or for being a shonen protagonist, is, well, I want to fight strong people. So eventually he's going to hopefully get some sort of motivation that's not just that, especially because it seems like the thing that people are unlocking, which is, so some people, and the gatekeeper, yeah, so some people have these hidden abilities called Charyok, Charyok, and they are summons. They are borrowing the power of gods and deities. That is the explanation this show chooses to use for how people have supernatural abilities. And we've seen some of them, and they exist, and then we find out it's this thing, which Jin a bit tapped into forcibly because he was given that fruit, which we learned it was called the sage fruit. Now, what the sage fruit necessarily did is a little unclear, but apparently people have eaten it and not been well, and Jin was. There's an old man that trained Jin's grandfather that is going to apparently train him, or wants to train him and keep an eye on him. The announcer from the show talks to Mira and says that she can unlock her potential. And then the end of the episode, at the end of the episode, we see some of the other people who are going to be competing from other parts of Korea, and we get a sense that some of them seem pretty powerful, and some of them maybe aren't as powerful. They just seem, a couple of them seem like, maybe we're going to be surprised that they're really strong, and a few of them seem like shoe-ins to win, which is good because you need strong people in a tournament. And it also looks like one of those teams is all wearing cloaks, and I'm like, are they just the cult members? That's a bad disguise. If you're just wearing cult cloaks, that's bad. But I assume that they're there for that. That's just my assumption. Anyway. Oh yeah, and then the announcer guy tries to protect the tournament and fight a dude, and he dies, and then also it looks like the smoking commissioner Q also gets killed by one of these assassins, which is fucked up. But he definitely looks like he died because there's a sword sticking in him. That doesn't necessarily mean that he died, though, because this is a fighting anime. And so it's not like he definitely did, but looks like he probably did. Uh, also, I forgot one part. We cut, like I said, this episode had a lot of shit going on in it. We cut back to Taijin, Jin's grandfather, and he had beat up all of the cult people that were trying to force him to join. So the head cult guy, or one of the head cult guys, summons a giant sword that just comes down from the heaven onto him, and it's like a mountain-sized sword. It is a ridiculous, like, it feels like that feels overkill, but maybe not. But it's a pretty cool, wild moment in the show. I would say, God of High School, if you like fighting, if you like the fighting tournaments in anime, I mean, that's mostly what it is the fighting tournament. The whole thing is pretty much that. Characters are fun, and it is. I mean, this is the first like real like This is the first episode that feels like it has like consequences for what happened. Like, I mean, obviously, last episode, a character we don't really know but was important to the characters passed away. But this one felt like this was the episode where it's like, oh yeah, things are real. Like shit's going down. So yeah, pretty solid episode. I would recommend The God of High School if you're looking for an action series. It's a good action series, so I think you'll like it. And that's the anime that the last 2 days. Thursday's a better anime day for me to talk about because you get there are 4 shows that I watch, 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday. So I have more to talk about on Thursdays than I do on Mondays. But I forget what else comes out on Monday that people like. But like Fruits Basket comes out on Monday, so I know that some people watch that. But I'm not watching this season of Fruits Basket. It just didn't catch it. I didn't catch it, so I'm not watching that. Yeah, I'm not watching Boruto right now. I'll get caught up on Boruto, but I'm not watching that. And yeah, I guess there isn't really a lot coming on Mondays. Yeah, still got a few things to check out. Tomorrow I'm going to be grilling. My goal is to use the charcoal chimney that my dad has, and we're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs. Nothing. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and also my mom got some shrimp on skewers that are for her. She wanted to eat those, which led to this whole idea of doing some grilling. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, nothing spectacular. Like this is not coming together right, so I'm gonna take it apart and do it together. Nothing like major as far as cuisine goes, but excited to grill some burgers and some dogs and some shrimps, some skewered shrimp for my mom. I think it'll be fun. Oh boy, this is not disconnecting right. Well, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to disconnect this part of the foot here. I think I know why it's not coming together right. I think this piece, there's a connector in here that is in wrong. So I'm going to try to separate this. Without breaking it. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to doing some grilling because I love grilling. It is the thing I enjoy doing. Sweating a little bit. Should have put on my bandana. Probably do that for Thursday. But yeah, I don't have a lot going on. Oh, I didn't talk about the weirdish kind of job I had working yesterday. It wasn't like honestly, like when I think about it, I'm like, I said it was weird, but it wasn't that weird. It wasn't like that strange of a thing. It was just odd that it happened. Is the circumstances that were odd more than the actual job itself. Um, so I ended up helping. It originally started with one person, and then it snowballed. But my neighbor across the street, my parents' neighbor, or they're friendly with them, asked if I would come over and help them move furniture because they're having work done on their patio, on their porch. So they needed someone to come in and help them move some stuff. And I said, sure, because they are friends with my parents. And I put my mask on and went over there. And that was the beginning of my day of being a mover of furniture for multiple people and moving a bunch of things, and it was fine. And I made some money doing it, which is always nice. But it was due me in payment in at least pizza. Yeah, no, I mean, so I got a little bit. Mostly it was favors, and that's fine. But I did got a little bit slipped a little bit of cash. Got some cash. Happy to do it. Happy to get a little bit of the cash. Uh, I mean, it was good. Yes, it was good exercise. I didn't go for my walk or my bike ride because I've been doing my stationary bike rides now, which are I enjoy because I definitely get a good sweat doing that. But it was just like a different thing. Mostly, it was just like uh, no hard candy. Mostly, it was just good to like I don't know feel useful. That was kind of nice. But it was like moving things out of a porch, outside, around the house, and into the garage. And it was like it was just like, and I was moving things that they weren't super heavy, they were just big. So it was like I couldn't like stack them. Yeah, I mean like, look, I have been pretty sedentary for. I mean, I'm getting out there and exercising, but I haven't like the work stuff that I've done lately when I've gone out to do, when I've had jobs have been here in either this house or my apartment, and have been a lot of teching, like tech stuff, like technical stuff. It was great to do some physical labor and get out there and feel a little bit like I'm out there. Like I don't like lawn mowing, but tomorrow it's like, oh, mow the lawn. And it's like that's a physical activity. Like I'll get out and do that. Like okay, that is a thing that I am doing. Like it's nice to get out there. And also, sometimes it's just nice to feel helpful and feel like you're helping people out and you're doing a good thing. Like it's nice. It's nice to feel, needed and to do a little work and, like also I think it's very important for folks that like myself to like accomplish things when people are fighting depression. Uh, to because some days it doesn't feel like I did anything, even if I did do a lot of stuff. There are some days that feel like I did not accomplish anything, uh, and at least I can be like, well, there was stuff in one room, and then it was not in the other room anymore. It wasn't in that room anymore. It was in this other room, and it was done, and I made life a little easier for someone, and that feels good. But like, I don't know, like there is something about like lawn care where even though like I don't want to do it, at the end of the day, the lawn was mowed. Cool. I mowed that lawn. Now it looks different than it was before. There's a noticeable change and you can do it. Model kit building is really good for that if we want to tie it back to what we're doing here. Model kit building is great for that. When we started the stream today, we had the chest and the head and some parts of the arms done. Now we have the arms completely done, and now we're working on the feet. We accomplished something. Was this, is it meaningful? Maybe not. Certainly not. But it is a thing where I can look at this and go, when I started the stream today, I had this much done. now I have this much done. And it is noticeable. And if you looked at the picture from Saturday to the picture from today, especially like on my Discord, you'd be like, oh, yeah, you got a bunch done today. Uh, that has been very good, especially in times of, uh, uh, working from home and being or in the apartment here, or in the case of previously last year being unemployed. Well, I did this. It's not life changing, it's not life altering, but it is a thing that I did. There's something about that I think is pretty neat. Um, all right, we're gonna work on our ankles here. Got to put some ankles together. Excited to work on that. Hey, if you feel good about it, doesn't matter how small it is. Yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing. Like, if you're like, I emailed everyone I need email today, or I cleaned, I did laundry. The other day, I did laundry, washed it, dried it, put it on my bed for only a couple of minutes, folded it, and put it away. All in the same day. That feels great. Now, obviously, I got a dishwasher and dryer in this house. Not necessarily, obviously, but like, it's not the hardest thing to accomplish, certainly. But like, it's still a thing where you're like, all right, I do not have Laundry Mountain. That feels very good to not have Laundry Mountain in the house, and like get that done. Just like okay, like yeah, not big, but a thing. Doing a thing these days. Sometimes it's just like, all right, I got that done. I did the thing. And there are some days where I don't feel like I accomplished much of anything. It's like okay, but even like cooking, right? Like oh, grilling some steaks, didn't end up doing. I want to do pulled pork. I want to do a slow. I want to get a pork shoulder or butt, and I want to slow cook that. That has not happened. That is a thing that I would like to do that I have not done yet. That will be a fun thing to do soon. And like yeah, cooking, feeding the family. Some of those things are bigger. They're all things that need to happen, but some of them like feel like more more accomplished than they are. Certainly, but people got to eat, and it's nice to feel. I don't know. Like that's the thing I'm trying to take advantage of is having like a good kitchen. I'm definitely trying to take advantage of that. I really like having just like a really decent place to get some work in. It has been yeah, it's been nice to have like the space for it and the equipment to do some stuff. Uh, like I said, I'm definitely going to look at hopefully getting more time to do that soon. All right, so that's in there. This is this, and then that, and back there. I got our feet going here. I've got a little more feet stuff to do here. Got to put on some D sheets here. All right. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well out there. We are going to wrap up in a little bit, but if there's anything going on with y'all you want to chat about, anything you want to ask me, you don't have to use the Ask a thing with channel points. You can just ask whatever. If anybody's got any thoughts, questions, comments, anything you're doing, if you're excited about something this week and you want to let me know about it, feel free. I am, as I said, doing a Hearthstone stream this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you can come check that out if you'd like. 9 p.m. till 10:45, 11 p.m. Eastern on this Wednesday. Playing Hearthstone, checking it out. I do have a new deck. I will hopefully have one other new deck for people to check out that I'll be working on. That's the goal anyway. I haven't necessarily settled on anything, but I'm trying to build at least one more cool deck for that. But we can talk about I guess I'll make a spell burst deck. I'll find a good spell burst deck so that we can at least talk about that because that'll be interesting. And then Thursday we're gonna take pick up where we leave off here on the NT-1 on Thursday. Saturday, we will probably wrap it up. Ask Pat a question. How do you feel about Coke floats as opposed to root beer floats? This is a topic today. Texting a friend. I prefer my floats to be root beer floats. I think root beer and vanilla ice cream pair together very well. I don't think Coke works as well. I'm not opposed to it if that's your thing, if that's how you like it. If you like Coke floats, if you're one of those people that likes putting syrup into those beverages and consuming it that way, if that's how you like to do things, go to town, enjoy it. But I prefer my floats to be I would say if I'm going to get a float, it's going to be root beer. Yes, the Ryan. Hello, the Ryan. I am hosting one panel at PAX. That is Pat Baer's Anime Club. I can tell you two of the three guests that will be joining me. They are both two of the guests that I can talk about are from Loading Ready Run, and they are Coriander Dickinson, Corey, and Brendan Beej Dairy. Beej will be joining me to talk about anime. We did it at PAX East. Corey was on that one. The theme of it is yelling about the shows we love, and it is us demanding generally that people watch the anime that we're tired of trying to convince them to watch. So we're just going to yell about it. It's very lighthearted and fun, and you'll hopefully walk out with a recommendation or two. I'm also, it's going to be fun. And there will also be a third guest who I haven't announced yet because I'm still trying to lock that in. And then I will be doing I will be on another panel that has not announced that I'm on it yet. Who else is on it? So I don't want to blow up their announcement. But it is a competitive show that I have been on before. And I'll leave it at that. But it's not League of Heels. We're not doing League of Heels. The idea of trying to do a League of Heels show online, yes, it would have been a disaster. But in my opinion, it would have been not a fun disaster. Like, it just wouldn't have worked. So I didn't want to do that. How much yelling are you guaranteeing me, Pat? So, at Big Open World, there is some yelling. Obviously, we're gonna, whatever, not scream and shout about things. But there will be times where we are intense. It is intensely talking about the shows we love, certainly. So there'll be times where we're in your face about it. We're like, hey, you're not listening to me. The Sanrio girl is a hidden gem. If people say they like slice of life and they watch shows about a female character, but they're not watching Sanrio Girl, which is a lovely little show, lovely little romantic comedy slice of life. Come on. It was a quick hit, last one. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it. I actually haven't decided yet what my shows are going to be. I need to figure that out. But I think I did a quick hit of Sanrio Girl, and so I might do a longer one of that. I haven't quite decided yet. But that's going to be, I'm going to be that. So I'm going to be 2 panels for PAX Online, and I'll have more details coming up about that panel, because I think it's going to be pretty fun. So I'm going to start putting some stuff away here. We are going to wrap up this panel. We're going to wrap up the stream in a minute as I prepare to... we're going to go raid, should say. There's a bunch of you watching right now. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, consider giving me a follow. Hit that follow button. Turn your notifications on so you know when I'm going live so that you can watch the stream when it happens. As I said, my next stream is on Wednesday, where we're going to work on Hearthstone decks. We're playing new decks in Hearthstone because there's a new expansion, so we'll check that out. And then also on Thursday, I'll be back to building this. So that'll be fun. But we are going to go ahead and find someone to raid, because that is That's what we do at the end of the streams. We share the love because maybe you're not done. Maybe you're on the East Coast and it's like, oh, it's almost 11. I'm about done tonight. Or maybe you're on the West Coast and you're like, it is still very early. What's going on? Uh, yeah, I'm going to wait for this ad because it looks like my sub did not renew for this person. So I'm going to wait and see what they're playing. But I think I know who we're going to go raid, and they're lovely. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Thanks to everybody that came out and asked questions. Chat is not something you have to do, but if you want to chat, it's always nice to have people chatting. Yeah, talk to you soon. We are going to go raid Mary Kish. Mary is playing a game called Mosaic. I don't know anything about it. I might know something about it. I know something about it. Never mind. But Mary rules, and so we're going to go hang out. Feel free to come along on the raid with me as we go hang out with Mary. But thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next Build with Baer. Maybe I'll see you in a Build with Baer game stream on Wednesday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.